Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me this morning. It is always a pleasure and the honor to sit in front of a bunch of dowsers and share the things that I have found. And as dowsers, I want you to dowse what I tell you. What is true for me may not necessarily be true for you, because we all live in our own reality, and anybody that knows me knows that my reality is probably a little different than about anybody's. So I want you to dowse and seriously, with any of you have the power to determine what is right and what information works for you and what doesn't. And if anything I say doesn't work for you, don't use it. Throw it away. Find something that does. Because your perspective is going to be how it's going to be interpreted and used. And if it works for you, that's the most important. It's like as I tell people that come over and they work with some of my reagents, I don't want to give you a song and dance about how great the stuff is, because when you get it home, if it just sits in the drawer, it didn't do any of us any good. So one of the advantages of being a dowser is that we can ask questions and the answers are easy. It's the questions that are difficult. And when we start asking some of these questions, then we have to decide what we want to do with the information. And I love to ask new questions. And so when I am looking at some of these new books, like they've gotten in the library, I'm reviewing some of the old tapes and some of the rest of that, it's not because I'm trying to become the smartest guy in the world and I'm trying to learn everything that's in that tape or in that book. What it is, I'm trying to find another question. I'm trying to find out, okay, how can I break down that next wall so I can ask that next better question? So I belong to the United States Psychotronic Association, and they've got 40 years of tapes of scientists talking about subtle energy. And they get in depth into the math and the physics and the this and the that and the blah, 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 blah. And for me, my eyes just glaze over and they cross and I'm done. But I listen to that stuff because every once in a while there's a nugget. And when there's a nugget, then I pull out my dowser and I say, okay, what is it? So I'm listening to a tape that was put together in the mid-70s by a guy by the name of Tom Bearden. And Tom Bearden was a physicist. He did a lot of work with subtle energy, but he also worked in some of the secret programs of the government. I don't know Tom from Adam. In the radionics community, he's famous and great and wonderful guy, and he's got some phenomenal information on those tapes. But one of the things he talked about, he says that in his work with one of these three-letter agencies of the government, they had found that they could affect mental processes with a number of very specific frequencies. And he said that the brain operates on a limited number of frequencies. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So the first thing I did was I dowsed, is this either true or false? Oh my gosh, there's some truth there. Well, that's really cool. Well, if there are like 4 or 5 or maybe 8 different frequencies that operate on the mind, how many frequencies are there? Are there more than 100? Nope. And frequencies isn't quite the right word. It's more frequency channels. So channels, let's use channels instead of frequencies. So there's these channels. I said, okay, how many channels are there? Well, is there more than 100? No. Is there more than 5? Yeah. Is there more than 50? No. And I ended up with 33 information channels. And so I'm ruminating on what these 33 information channels are and what it could possibly mean. And that's where this information came from. And this is the first time it's been presented outside of a radionic community. And so if you, oh my gosh, where can I find the book to read all about that? Nope. Okay. But as dowsers, really the information is for you to use and to run with. So think of those information channels as sections in an orchestra. Okay. So if they're playing Beethoven's Fifth and the violin section shows up, half of them are gone and the other half are drunk, We're still going to, we can still recognize Beethoven's Fifth, but it just isn't quite as enjoyable. Now, sadly, the bassoons, they went out drinking with the violinists, and so that section's a little bit flaky as well. And the percussionists, well, they are party animals. And so pretty soon what we've got is all of these different sections of the orchestra are not operating quite where we want them to. And so instead of sounding like the Philharmonic, it's sounding like the Sigourney High School Band. I mean, it's okay. Well, that's exactly what happens with us. And the way I view the world is, and the way the physicists are telling us, is that we live in a hologram of light that's composed of energy and information. In a hologram, everything's connected. And so that means that I'm connected to you and you're connected to me, and that works perfectly for the dowsers. But, now that you've thought about that, you think, well, wait a minute. If we're all connected and we're all one consciousness, then the difference between you and me is not the truth. The difference between you and me are the lies that we hold. Ooh, that's kind of an icky thing to think about. You know what? I'm going to put that one in the back burner. I'm not going to douse on that one too much, because that's a little bit uncomfortable. But all of these different information channels, and so it's like a big holographic projector coming into us with all of this different information. So if you're able to talk to the angels, that information is coming in through a channel. If you're able to douse, that information is coming in through a channel. All of the physical attributes are coming in through these different channels. Think of it like a big holographic projector with 33 different pieces of it. And then I started working to find out, okay, what's going on with these different channels and what kind of information is carried on these different channels, and that's still ongoing. But what I want each of you to do right now, I want you to check to see if your information channel number 5 is at 100% or not. Information channel number 5. And for those of you that have done the radionics, well, that's kind of cheating, because we've kind of cut to the chase there and figured out how to make the information channels and balance them. But for everybody else, I want you to check information channel number 5. If it's not 100%, is it 90%? If it's not 90%, is it 50% of optimal? Yeah, that's just a dowsing thing. Is it 10%? Okay. I am not a doctor. I cannot diagnose, treat, prescribe. I am an energy mechanic. The only license I have is to drive a car, and I have to wear glasses to do that. So I'm not going to tell you anything about your health or your wellness. What I can tell you is that every single client in my client base that had an active diagnosis of cancer had an impaired channel 5. Now there's 2 ways to look at that. Oh my God! Okay. But remember, the body is a result of the information that's coming in. So it's not really an oh my God. What it is what is impairing channel 5. And as dowsers, if I bring channel 5 up to where it needs to be, if I bring that up to optimal, does that give my body and my tissues and my cells the information that they need in order to bring my body back up to 100%? How cool is that? As Dr. Peel was talking about yesterday, everything that we deal with in our work is either a what or a why. I say it's either a symptom or a cause. If I wake up in the morning with a headache, I can almost guarantee you that the cause is not an aspirin deficiency. Okay. I can almost always guarantee you that if I don't find out what that why is, I'll be taking aspirin again and again and again and again. And so in much of our work, we're worrying about the what and we don't get to the why. Well, what if the why is that impaired information? Now, what can make that, what can open that information channel? Well, of course, what can open that information channel? You have the power. Yeah. All right. Did anybody have any issues on that channel? You don't have to raise your hand, but if you did, guess what? You're a dowser. You have the power. Okay, I'm going to optimize the energy and information flow on channel 5. Now, is that going to be permanent? Not unless you figure out why it got plugged in the first place. You know, if the kitchen sink is always getting plugged, there's a reason. You know, maybe the kids shouldn't be, shoving melons down the drain. Okay, but the point is, we can get that open. And many times in our work, if I can open up that channel and get the information flowing, that will give me the time to find that why. That'll give me the time to find that cause. But in the meantime, now you have information you can deal with. Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Optimize the energy and information flow in channel 5. When I come up with these great and wonderful statements, this is not inscribed in stone because the guru Marty came up with it. What it is, hey, this is an idea, and in your mind, you may just be able to picture a water pipe that's wide open and everything's flowing through it. Whatever works for you. I am not a guru expert. I ask a lot of questions and I have some really cool things that I've found, but each one of you has a different perspective, is going to be able to find new and better things than I can. So as you're looking at some of these different information channels, you can come out to me in 6 weeks or a year and go, well, if we do this, blah, 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 blah. I go, yeah. And I am a firm believer that if you have a better idea than me, I'm going to use your idea. Okay. So we've got all these information channels. My gosh, there's 33 of them. Okay, so we're all dowsers. Let's find out. Okay, which channel in your system is the most impaired? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. And then you could find out, how much information is flowing through that channel. And then you can optimize it if it's in your highest good. Or what you may find is, oh my gosh, I'm really down in this particular channel. Evidently, cigars and hot dogs seem to really have the toxins that are impairing the flow of energy in that channel. Yeah. So I can open up that channel, but if I don't give up on the cigars and hot dogs, guess what? It's just going to slam shut again. It gives us a tool. And so as I'm working on this, I'm going, okay, this starts to make more and more sense if all this energy and information is coming in, because that information that's coming to me has to go through all of these layers before it gets here. So wherever that giant holographic projector is, it's passing through, all of the, by all the planets, it's passing through the different stars, it's passing through the different, solar systems, it's going through the 5G network, it's going, through all of that emotional stuff that I've got built up, it's going through all that other junk, so when it finally gets to me, who knows how good that information is? Yeah. It's like if you turn on the radio and you're listening to NPR, you have a fairly good idea how good the information is, and it's coming in, fairly strong. Or you can listen to Fox News and then you have an idea how good that information is. Okay. It's completely two different sets of information. Okay. So if you've got the channel wide open and you're tuned to NPR, or you've got the channel wide open and you're tuned to Fox News, well, who do we want to be tuned to? I'm thinking, well, gosh, this information is being sent to me. it's what's forming this body. It's what, that interference pattern of light and photons and stuff is what is. So, but where is that projector? Where is it that that information is all 100% clear and 100% correct? Because it seems to me that rather choosing between NPR or Fox News, I want to choose the source. Oh, well, let me pull up. Newsmax might be it. Let me check. I got my dowser here. Well, son of a gun. Son of a gun. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I listened to NPR faithfully every time I made the coffee until COVID started, and I just had to turn it off. I haven't listened to it since because they were pushing it and so.
Yeah. But again, with all that, all right. But and with all the information that's coming into your system, think of all of the distortions. Think of all of the lies that we were told as kids. You're not big enough, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough. You can't do this, you can't do that. You were born into a family and our family always has this, blah, 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 blah. All of those lies that you were told. Okay, all that information is in your information field. What if you could connect right to the truth? What if you could connect right to that? Stand right next to that holographic projector and there's no distortion and there's no. Okay. I think, well, that would be really cool. It would be like, gosh, I could actually have access to the truth. My body could have the information that it needs, and I wouldn't have either the NPR slant or the Newsmax or whatever other slant. It would just all be there. Yeah. And some of you are going, well, gosh, I know where the source of all all truth is. But see, I can't get there the easy way. I have to get there the hard way. I have to go, okay, where is that? Surprise! The preachers were right. Okay, there is a source where all that information is 100% pure, it's 100% complete, and it's 100% correct. Go to your spiritual tradition if you'd like and connect there. And make that dowsing connection so that you're drawing your energy and information on those 33 channels directly from source. Okay. In my view, I label that source the galactic center because my dowsing says that's where it's coming from, the galactic center. I don't care what you call it. However you can connect to that purest source is where you're going to get the best information. Because if this body is simply a interference pattern of light and information, once I'm connected to the pure information, then I can start cleaning up whatever's on this end. Because what I've done is I've found the why, and now I can take care of the what. And in your spiritual tradition, you may connect directly to Creator. You may connect directly to Source or whatever. But I want you to check, and again, Tao's for you. Is it in your highest interest to connect directly to, and I'm going to say Galactic Center, you use whatever label works for you. Is it in your highest good to connect directly to All right. If it is, ask and the door shall be opened. If it's in your highest good, go ahead and make that connection. And now I want you to start measuring what it's doing for your information channels. Yeah. Okay. Did what you just did, we got some people still working. Did the work that you just did make any changes? Okay, that's the first question. Because sometimes, especially as dowsers, we're out on our own, we're doing this work, and we think it's, how much of it is just between my ears and how much of it's real? Okay. Because, am I just convincing myself? Well, guess what? Since you create your own reality, once you convince yourself, but you'll get there from here. Okay. Did what you do make any changes? Yes or no? Okay. Okay. Were they positive changes? Okay. Right. Were they negative? Now, here's the cool thing. We're dowsers. Okay. Is there somebody in this room that could help me finish the job, or could help me do it better, or could help me make sure that that connection is always there? Are they in this room? Oh, no. No, they're not in the room. Are they in the building? No, they're not in the building. Do I know them? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Great. Right. And we can just start dowsing. We keep asking questions, and we chase it, and we chase it, and we chase it, and we chase it. So it's been about, what, 9 months ago?
Well,
September. So it's in September, and as a radionic guy, and radionics is the left brain approach to the right brain work that we do with dowsing. So radionics people like myself like to use dials and knobs and lights to do this stuff. And so when I'm working on the information channels, I've got the dials and knobs and to do this stuff because I want to capture each individual frequency of that information channel, so I could work with each individual channel, and I could optimize each channel. And oh my gosh, this is just wow. And I was talking to Dr. Peel, and I says, I've got some of this work done, but it looks like it's going to take me, oh geez, I'm looking at weeks to be able to get the rest of those formulas and that information, the frequencies for the rest of these channels. And Dr. Peel is a phenomenal lady who's been able to talk to angels her whole life. Okay, so I pull out my dowser. Okay, all right. She's either telling the truth or she's not. It's true. Well, that's cool. If it's true, that means it's possible. If it's possible, that means that information is coming in through a channel. And I said, it would be so handy to be able to talk to the angels. I just wish I knew which channel that was, and because it's going to take me weeks and weeks and weeks. And what she says, well, the angels just told me that they'll just give that to us. And so just right into her hand, right into a crystal or a bottle, gave us all the frequencies for all the information channels, all of the harmonics and everything. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. Because I wanted to talk to the angels. And when I grabbed onto it, it was kind of like they answered the phone. Yeah. At least they didn't say, dumbass. But they could have. They could have. And you go, wow. Oh, all right. So, of course, in the left brain logical, okay. All right. Douse it. Do you have a channel that you could use to communicate directly with the angels? Either yes or no. Okay. Is that channel open? Yes or no? Is it in your highest good to open that channel? Yeah.
Once I open the channel, I need to keep going back open again, but tell me that that channel is open. I'm thinking it's open all the time. But I still need to check, I guess.
Here's the thing. Once that channel is open, and for you it's open all the time, so you don't have all of that stuff that most of the rest of us have that block that channel. Like you have to be really, really good to be able to talk to angels. You have to be certified and sanctified in order to talk to angels. Okay. All right. See, we carry those lies around with us. You're not carrying those lies. But how comforting is it to know that that channel is there? And for those of you that got a yes, it's there. Okay. And how much more comforting is, yeah, I can open it. Well, God, is there a channel of information that allows me to see auras? Well, oh my gosh, there's either if it's information that's coming in, then it must come in through a channel. Okay, is that channel open? Yes or no? How do I open it? How cool is that? What else? Oh my. So this is what happens when you're on a farm in the middle of Iowa by yourself. You start asking these really, really weird questions. You go, well, gosh, that's either true or it's false. And if they could do it, I got basically the same genetics as everybody else. If they can do it, maybe I can too. Now, every once in a while, I get told very clearly, no. Like you don't remember the last time. Okay, all right, yeah. I've said, and because, well, anyway. So, but most of the time, ask and it shall be given. And the biggest problem we have, we don't ask. We don't ask. We have no idea how powerful we are. And what's really cool, sometimes when you ask that question, and again, when that channel is open, the answer will come back to you, welcome home, or about time. And sometimes it is, dumbass. Okay. But most of the time, it's welcome home. Okay. All right. So does anybody here have a health challenge? I mean, we all do. None of us are in our 20s. Well, there's a couple of people that are closer than others. Okay, whatever that is. Okay. All right. Is that health challenge affected by a channel? Yes or no? And if you're really left-brained and want to get into the analytics, we can get into, okay, it's this, this particular thing is channel 17, or it's channel 23, or who cares what channel it is? I mean, that's just bubblegum for the brain. The point is that if there's a health challenge and it's affected by a channel, okay, all right. Is it in my best interest to open that channel? Well, yes, it is. Okay, all right. Higher self, can you open that channel for me and optimize it? Yes. Is there anything else I need to do to keep that channel open? Well, yes. It has something to do with no cigars or hot dogs. So all the physical stuff that we do absolutely helps to maintain what we're doing, but because we are the result of this interference pattern of light, this energy and information that's controlled by consciousness, the key is controlled by consciousness. Controlled by consciousness is this. We can make those changes. All of the magic you see with the different healers, in this group, and there are some magical people here. I mean, oh my gosh. I mentioned Dr. Peel and Dr. Elliott. Oh my gosh. And Gail West and Catherine. I mean, just some magical healers here. Guess what? Either you have the ability to do that just as well as they do, or not. Yeah. Can I do that? Yes. Yeah. Is it in my highest interest to do that? Yes. Okay. What's holding me up? Oh, it's channel 17. Okay, how do I open channel 17? When you can measure something, you can manage it. Now, this model with the information channels may not be a perfect model, okay? And it's going to get better as time goes on, but now you have something to hang your hat on. Now you've got something where you can go, okay, I can go step by step by step. And for me, it was just a phenomenal way for me to visualize how this stuff works. And it leads me to that next question, and the next question, and the next question. Okay. So we were taught a long time ago that if there is a thought, that thought is real. And what keeps that thought from being manifested into the physical is how much energy we put into it. I mean, every MLM company in the world, talks, you've got your dream boards and blah, 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 blah. And then we have the, think and it'll be and, all those other stuff. Well, that's all true. So when we have a thought, it's real. Yes. Okay. So it's just a matter of adding energy to it. Yes. In order to manifest it? Yes. Okay. Do I have that energy? No, I don't have the energy for that one. Oh, gosh. Do I know who does? Oh, I do know who does. Oh, my gosh, they can help me. Then we can connect to that person and do that. How cool is that? So, what talent, what gift, what ability do you want that you don't currently have? If it exists, you can have it. I'm either telling the truth or I'm lying. Okay. And if you can have it, now we can figure, okay, what do I have to do to make that happen? Traditionally, through many of the spiritual traditions, you go through all of these rituals to build up the energy to be able to do that and to clear out the negative thoughts and to do all the rest of that. And that absolutely works. But one, I have no desire to walk up on top of a mountain and live in a cave, and wear a loincloth. Okay, that just doesn't, and I'm not going to spend 25 years doing that either. Most of us have this other life, this regular life that we're living, but with what we have available now, all of that other stuff is available to us. It's all there. All we have to do is accept that we can have it. Pull out your dowsers. Is it available to you? Yeah. Is the ability to see auras available to you? Yes or no? Is the ability to talk to angels available to you? Yes or no? Is the ability to stop the aging in my body available to you? Yeah. Yeah. Of course, the next question is, are you willing and able to do that? Are you willing and able to do that? Am I able? Absolutely. Am I willing? No. Again, it's the hot dogs and cigars. That's what it is. That's what it is. But look at how empowering this is. You can have anything you want. All that information is out there. But what about the COVID? Okay. What about the 5G? Oh my gosh, what about the liberals and those conservatives and the Russians and the other bad people and all this, oh, blah, blah. What about? Well, as soon as, one thing you'll notice, as soon as you start connecting into that anger and fear, your connection to source just goes away. So, yeah, and so as soon as I grab on to that, they can't, I can't, then poof, there goes my connection. Because that's exactly what Creator does for you. He goes, oh, is that what you want? Okay, poof. You want to be a muggle? We can do that. Poof. Okay, okay. Hey, you want to hate everybody? Poof, disconnect, you're done. You can do all those things. And so for me, it's a full-time journey to keep those channels open because I've got 60 years of all that programming. Yeah. So, okay, oh my gosh, 5G, okay. Does that 5G energy affect my energy field? It does, okay, okay. What channel? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, 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 blah. Okay, oh, it affects that channel. Super. All I have to do is optimize that channel. Oh. What disinformation is coming in through what channel that causes me to come down with cold, flu, COVID, whatever? Because we know that the information that's coming from Source and Creator is 100% right and perfect. So if I've got the COVID, it's like a computer program where there's a virus or something. It's like, when you print out your Microsoft Word document and there's wingdings instead of paragraph 2. Okay. You didn't type wingdings. Okay. You put in the right information, but for whatever reason, the printer didn't get the right information. Our body is the printout. We need to find out where that information got messed up and then fix it. And maybe it is that person down at the Quick Trip that you see every morning when you're getting your cigars and your hot dogs that is dropping that virus information into your energy field that is interfering with channel whatever. Oh my gosh, this channel stuff. You mean so that when I sit with Marilyn Elliott, I can actually see what channels open up when I'm sitting next to her. And that's why I feel so good, when I'm talking to her. Yes. And when I sit down with Uncle Chuck, when he's sober, and I feel really terrible and I just, I want to get away from him so quick, I can see what information channel his field is corrupting in me. And I go, okay. I mean, he is relation, and there is the genetic connection and all the rest of that. So if I'm going to talk to Uncle Chuck, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have reinforced that information channel before I go talk to him. Now, do I have to know what information channel it is? No, you already do. All you have to do is go, okay, Uncle Chuck, you are not going to affect any of my information channels today. God bless you. Boom. Boom. This last 6 months for me has been so much fun because of the empowerment to be able to look at this. And for me, as I've got that left brain male thing going on, so I like to see things in models. And for me to be able to see this construct and work on this construct and go, oh, okay, it's just like that orchestra. I don't have to make everything in the orchestra perfect, but, I really want that violin section to work well. And then there are times when I really like to have all the channels open. Now, because I am who I am, and I have not done the years and years and years of the internal work that people that are naturally better people than me do, my channel for the angels doesn't stay open all the time. I don't think they want to listen to my drivel when I'm not in the right, in the right space. And so for me, I have to work to keep that channel open. But what's really cool is it's not something that's hard work, because it's something that really, it's very rewarding. It's like, really, how much hard work is it to scoop ice cream out of the tub? Okay. That's kind of what it is. Yeah, you have to scoop it out of the tub, but it's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it. So with all this information channel stuff, you have to do the work. So eventually, you've got to get in and do that nutritional work. You've got to do the physical work. You've got to, keep the body doing all those things. But in the meantime, now you have the time to do it. So for those of you that optimized your information channels, even if they only stay optimized for 5 minutes, that's 5 minutes more than they've been optimized since you were born. And if you want to keep the information channels open, you can absolutely do the dowsing. And what I use is one of Dr. Peel's frequency packages. Not because I can't do it with dowsing, but it's because I'm too darn lazy. Yeah. But you can do all of this on your own, all the time, anytime you want to. You have the power. We all have that same connection to that infinite light. All we have to do is get our lies out of the way so we can see the light.
Do you suppose our channels were open when you were first born?
Nope. Son of a gun. Well, but of course, look at all that direct that the question was, were our channels open when we were first born? IDALs, no. And you think about it, all that direct that we bring in from the past lives. Yeah. Think of all the emotional stuff that we inherited from our parents even before we were born. Absolutely. It's like, and what dad is thinking, what? Again? Again. Yeah. Or in some areas of the Midwest, that's like a proposal for marriage. You're what? You're what? Yeah.
Mrs. Alexander Hamilton, her parents were very good Dutch people in New York State, in New York City, in Albany, and on the church records and in the family Bible, their marriage date is here, and 5 months is the first birth of the baby right there. So it's not just in the Midwest or in other places. And they were such an upstanding family that they certainly couldn't run a wedding.
Well, as a Hutterite friend of mine told me, that first one can come anytime, but the second one takes 9 months. And my grandmother, sweet lady, I never heard her say a bad thing, an evil thing, anything in her whole life. And she was about 85 at the time, and we were driving past one of these tent revivals, and she goes, well, you know what we used to say? And I'm thinking, oh, gee. She says, well, there's more souls made than saved at the revival meetings. People are the same. People are the same. Yeah. Absolutely. The TV wasn't working. So that's really the magic of where we're at right now, is that when you realize that you have the power to do these things, then you also realize that nobody has the power to take them away from you. And please, oh please, oh please, oh please, whether you get Dr. Peel's reagent or you're just working on yourself, keep that channel with the angels open. When the preachers used to talk about this when I was a kid, it was like, oh my gosh, I hope they've got cookies and ice cream, because I don't want to listen to this drivel about, oh, the angels are talking to me and blah, 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 blah. And, and they made it sound so airy-fairy. They made it sound so, oh, the light came on and there was blah, blah, blah. And we've all heard those stories, and as a kid, I'm looking at that going, this isn't for me. It ain't like that. There's a big difference between knowing about and knowing. And when you open that channel, and maybe you want to open that channel to the Creator, or maybe you want to open a channel to Jesus, or the healer, or your higher self, or whatever. When those channels are open, you are not alone, ever. Ever. And the angels don't lie, even when you'd like them to. When they like, yeah. So think about what is it you want? Yes, ma'am.
Let's say I do everything nutritionally possible to keep myself healthy and have a very strong immune system.
Hmm.
But I want to get to the place where I am completely immune to getting Lyme or COVID.
Perfect.
Do I need another dowser to help me do
Well, there are dowsers that can do that for you at a certain price. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh man, there goes the sales pitch. No, you absolutely don't. But again, the blockages that are keeping you from where you're wanting to be may be so close to you that you can't see them. And so douse to see if you need help with that. And what's really, really cool now that we're in this dowsing community is that if you call me, you don't have to tell me your personal story about, oh, this and this and this and this. All you have to do is we make that connection and have our higher selves do the work. So all you have to do is call and say, Marty, is this a yes or a no? Gosh, I'm getting a no. How about if I do this? Yep, that's a yes. There you go. You've got it. Perfect. Boom. Yeah. Yeah. Ask and it'll be given to us. We have been taught not to ask. And we have been taught that if we do ask, we don't deserve the answer. Those are lies. Absolute lies. Yeah, and I love going to the Raymond Grace seminars. And Raymond Grace does magic. Okay, and if you've been to one of his dowsing seminars where he's moving the weather and he's doing this and he's doing that, and you're sitting there going, wow, that's really cool. The difference between what he does and the people that are in the audience, he knows he can do it. They just think they can. And many of them are going, oh, he's just too special and powerful. There's nothing, I could not possibly do that. Wrong. Okay, so let's say that you've been diagnosed with the galloping gazutic. Okay, you got the galloping gazutic and you find out that that's coming in through channel 6. Okay, so you do the work and we just open up channel 6. And let's say that your symptoms only go away halfway. What did it cost you? And the other point is when we do this work, if anything changes, that means you can change it. On the farm when I'm working with my old equipment, most of it's rusty. But I know that if I'm trying to turn that bolt, if I can get that bolt to turn just a little bit, then I can turn it back a little bit, and I can wiggle it, and I can finally take it out. So if you can change something, even something minor, that means you can change it. And if you can change it, that means you can make it go away. Yeah. But what if it's in my karma that I'm supposed to have this? Okay. It's in your karma that you're supposed to have the galloping gazutic. Okay. All right. Well, let's ask the angels about that. Okay. All right. Is it possible for me to get rid of that karma? It's not possible for me, I guess. Is it? Okay. All right. But we ask, all right. All right. So you can ask, okay, is it possible to get rid of that karma? Yeah. Wait, but that was a great question. Is it possible to get rid of that karma? Yes. Is it possible for me to get rid of that karma? No. Okay. I'm going to need help. Duh. So if I've got karma associated with something, I'm going to need help. Do I know that person? Yeah. Yeah. Are they in this room? No. Have I seen them in the last 6 months? Yeah. Am I related to them? No. Thank God. Okay. Yeah, because I wouldn't want to tell them what's going on. Okay, because yeah. But see, that's how you nail it down. And I absolutely trust my dowsing. I am not the best dowser in this conference. I am much more like, you're shooting at a target, and so you shoot and it's a little bit to the left, and so you shoot again and it's a little bit to the right, and you shoot again and it's a little high, it's a little low. But if you shoot often enough, you've knocked the center out of that target. And that's what I do. I just keep asking questions and nailing it down. For me, dowsing is like going down the rabbit hole. But as you go down the rabbit hole, that's where you find enlightenment. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
More of the how. I mean, right now you were talking about the how being, well, is there a person that can help me? But are there things that one can do within that like actions. So how do you speak to actions? Because that becomes subjective in a way.
Absolutely. Everything that you've been taught about, good nutrition, exercise, clean thinking, clean living, all that's true. All that works. And many times we use those actions in order to give our subconscious an excuse to make us healthy. And as long as you accept that that's the way it is, but we're at a point now where we can take that step forward and go, you know what? I don't need that excuse. I can be healthy anyway. And the how is exactly you go in and you ask to make that change. Just ask for that change.
So you don't necessarily need to know what changes being made.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
How do you keep that made if you don't? It's exactly what you were talking about before, the cause and
So,
what and why so the cause, to find that specific cause, you just go to the charts.
well, I mean, you can go to the charts. I mean, to find find those causes and knowing your, and many times I'll simply douse it. Okay, all right. In order to resolve the cause, is the answer in my library? No. Oh, is it in the ASD library? Oh, there's something in the ASD library that has that. Okay. Is it a tape? Nope. It's a book? Yep. And then I just douse to find what it is that I need. I've even been known to douse, in my library, if I'm looking for a particular solution, of course my left brain wants to know all the details. But all that is just an excuse. And so what I will do is I will douse, is it on that shelf? It's on that shelf, it's in that book, it's in that page, it's on that paragraph, it's right there. Well, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any difference it makes any sense. That's what it needs. And who knows, maybe what's going to keep that channel open is 2 drops of lavender oil on your pillow at night. It can be just that simple. When that information channel is open, the information comes through, and it's suddenly like, huh, huh. So the other day, when Sandy Isgro was building the labyrinth, our plan was to build a DNA labyrinth, which is very similar to what we did several years ago, and we had all laid out exactly what it was supposed to be, and it was all well planned and whatever. But like many things, when she went to open up the box, the stuff that was in the box was not what she thought it was. And so she dowsed as to which runes go where in the labyrinth. And the question was, what is the best rune to put where in the labyrinth? And so she put the labyrinth together, and she looks at it and says, Marty, this is not a DNA labyrinth. What do we got? And so we started dowsing to find out what it was that we built and what we've got. If you haven't walked the labyrinth, please do. It's that away. It's that away. You go out the front of the building, take a left, and it's up the hill on the right, just like a half a block. Take a right. Okay. Yeah. The labyrinth that she put together is a caretaker labyrinth. It is designed to activate certain portions of our DNA, that caretaker portion of our DNA. And we can have a whole class on what that is. But the point is that when you're connected with source and you go with the flow, that stuff happens, and it's just a natural part. If I'm not seeing synchronicities, if I'm not seeing coincidences, if I'm not seeing miracles all the time, I know I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I cannot imagine how I could live without having those connections. I mean, I just can't imagine how lonely it would be to ask a question and not have somebody to answer it for me. I mean, even if the answer is no, at least you know that, hey, well, yeah, and sometimes it's no. So please, work on your information channels and get them open. You decide what abilities, what talents, what magic that you want in your life. And then grab it. The other day in the class, we were doing some work, and I said, well, I want you to craft something that you want. Craft an intent statement, of something that you want. Several students in the class just hit a roadblock right there. They had no idea what to ask for. It was like, what do I ask for? I said, well, asking it, this isn't like 3 wishes, where you rub the lamp and you just get 3. Okay, it doesn't have to be anything earth-changing. I mean, it could be a hangnail, it could be, having salt shakers full on the table. It doesn't make any difference, so, but we have to train ourselves to start asking. And the reason that we have that information channels is because we quit asking, and so those channels just shut down. Yes, ma'am. The question is, you can even ask, I want to know what I want. Yes. 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 And we've been doing some tremendous work with Heart's Desire and Soul's Desire, and that's some of the work that Gail West has pioneered. In her book, Money Come Dance With Me. When you align your heart and soul's desire, then what you want is what's good for you. And what's even better is that the whole universe will line up behind you to make it happen. How cool is that? Oh my gosh.
What was the name of it?
Money Come Dance With Me. Yeah. Gail West. She'll probably have a book signing here this week. Okay. There she is. There she is. Okay. So, all right, heart and soul's desire. When Gail first talked about heart's desire, I'm thinking of the junior high little girl. Oh, it's the heart's desire. Or, in high school, there was the Oldsmobile 442. And, it had the dual exhaust, had the 8-track player, 4-barrel carburetor. Yeah, it had the nice stereo. Okay, all right, boom, boom, boom. But heart's desire is not stuff. Heart's desire is an energy. If it's an energy, it comes in through a channel. Is that channel for your heart's desire open? It's either 100% open or it's not. Is that the same channel where your soul's desire comes in? Is your soul's desire, is the channel for your soul's desire, is it open or closed? Because your heart and soul's desire are who you are. They should work together. And as adults, none of us have ever put that together. Because we're adults. We're grown-ups. We don't pay attention to that stuff because, well, that doesn't help with our career. That doesn't help us to be better moms and dads, and to be a better neighbor and to keep the lawn mowed. That's that frilly woo-woo stuff. Except it's not frilly woo-woo stuff. That is exactly who we are. If your heart and soul's desire channels aren't open, do you have the ability to open them? Yep. Is it in your best interest? Yep. Can you do it? Yep. If you need some help, we'll help you. What else? Just think about the possibilities. You're a kid in a candy store. This whole world, it revolves around you. The reason that you are here is because there are people here to give you information, and you're here to give information to the other people. You are part of this construct. So when we used to tell our kids, well, you think the whole world revolves around you? Okay? Yeah. Okay, and in some kids, yeah, but when you got 4 or 5 kids, at that point, hey, no, it ain't happening, guys. No, I don't care. We are absolutely not watching that on TV. You are going to bed. Right. I want you to step out of that lie. I want you to start thinking about, if all of this energy and information is coming through these channels to me to help craft what I am here to do, then there is a reason. That reason is important. And so you really are the center of your universe. Yeah. That person that's sitting next to you has something for you. If they didn't have something for you, they wouldn't have sat there. Period. Yeah. Yeah. You know, when you bump into that somebody and it's an accident and it's and it's a synchronicity or whatever, no, it's supposed to be that way. So I'm staying off campus just a half an hour down the road, and it's right on the interstate. And so I'm looking at the GPS, and the other morning coming in, the GPS takes me down and it takes me off the interstate. And I thought, well, gosh, that went kind of fast, but and then I went over and under and up and down and 25 mile an hour and 3 or 4 stop signs and you know how the roads are in this part of the woods. It's like they turned a chicken loose and followed it with a bulldozer, crying out loud. Yeah. So I spent 20 minutes doing all this, and then it took me back on the freeway and then brought me on down. And my left brain is going, because you just wasted 15 minutes. And the rest of me is going, you have no idea what you missed. Because you were taken off of that interstate for a reason, for that particular time, and enjoy the ride. You go, okay, perfect. Now, does that mean that the GPS wasn't messed up? Well, I don't know. The point is, by simply thinking that that's the way it's supposed to be, it really takes all the strain off the chain. And now the stress level is low. I'm much more of a carrier of stress than actually carrying any of my own. Yes, ma'am.
Yesterday, on my way here, there was this big rain on 495. I kind of lost 40 minutes. Well, I called Kate and grabbed it and was here already. And I said, gee, there's a hang up. I don't know. I might be going to be so late I won't get the registration if this continues. But things kept saying a longer time instead of shorter for my arrival. And I said, well, say a prayer to the traffic angels. Almost like as soon as I said, say a prayer, they started moving.
Yeah.
I was kind of amazed.
Oh, the drive out here was just brutal. But, I was really, just kind of relaxed. But at some point, when the GPS, normally will say, 5 hours or 10 hours or whatever, but when it comes down at the bottom, you can't get there from here. Then okay, all right, okay, this is a problem. But all of this and take some time now that you're thinking about it. The people around you, find that person that is here for you. Find the person that you are here for. Yeah. And you can douse it. Okay. All right. So, all right. There is one person that I need to talk to, especially at this conference. Yes. Have I talked to them yet? No. No. Are they in this room? No. But there's one person, and that's important for me to talk to them. Do I know what it is that I'm supposed to talk to about? Not a clue. Maybe all I'm supposed to do is just go over and make fun of their shoes. I don't know. But whatever it is, okay, do that dowsing. Yeah, and we'll talk more about that with about asking the questions and that sort of thing. But really, this is all about empowerment. The information channels are tools for you to use. You can open any of them. And if you've got somebody that has some physical issues, you can help them open their channels as well. And it's not medicine. That's one advantage of working in the energy field. They don't mess with me, 1, because I'm not a doctor, and 2, because I'm a kook. People leave kooks alone. Yes, ma'am.
This may be a left brain question, but it's like the numbered channels. Like, is it not been a channel be one thing one time and then another thing another time?
For me, in the picture that I've got and what I've been able to discern, and I don't have all the details on everything that comes through, it's just like a radio channel. So sometimes they can be playing the news and sometimes they can be playing whatever. but there's certain classes of information that come through in those different channels. And there's a certain amount of overlap. You remember, just like the old AM radios back in the day, so there's a certain amount of overlap so that, your body just doesn't completely disintegrate if a channel is completely closed. But think about a lot of the work that we do in healing, the trauma has closed them off. It's closed that channel, or it's blocked that channel with so much dreck that by the time the information finally gets through there, it's completely contaminated. Yeah, so all of our emotional work's important. All of our nutritional work is important. Yes, ma'am. A channel for the lords of karma. I tell you what, I want to have my big boy pants on before I open that one. Okay. Yeah, 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 but think about that. Wow. Wow. How cool is that? Now, what in your spiritual training and experience and whatever, what is it that you would really like to connect to? Would you like to connect to that energy from the Bosnian pyramid? Would you like to connect to that energy from that great healer or that avatar or that god or that goddess? Okay, all right, I want to connect with Nikola Tesla. Well, you know what? If I'm going to get that information, it's on this channel. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, click, 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 just like the old days on the TV. Open up that channel. Hey, Nick. Oh, okay. So let's say that we jump through all these hoops and nothing happens. What did it cost us? Nothing. Let's say that we do it 7 times and nothing happens. What did it cost us? Nothing. And then we do it the 8th time, the angels answer. Ding. That's the cool thing about this work, is that if we keep trying, ask and it shall be opened. That answer is always there. And so don't worry if it doesn't work perfectly the first time. As I learned in school, C's get degrees. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah. Sometimes good enough is good enough. Yeah. So, we've got about 5 minutes left for any questions or comments.
Are there any other books that you can recommend? You mentioned West. Is there another one, at least one more maybe?
I love Gail West's book. So many. Oh my gosh, it's like, when they tell you that it's not hoarding if it's books. Oh, okay. But there's Shelley Darling has a phenomenal book. And she's on the front with an Australian musical instrument. It looks like a giant doobie in the picture is what it looks like. Okay. That's a wonderful book. See, she's told me what it is, and to me that just sounds like, and she's told me that 50 times. But just a number of books. Walk through the exhibit area and use your dowser. Okay, how many books is it my highest interest to take home with me today? Okay, all right, 10, 20, 50, 100. Okay. Because here is the thing, if the universe is telling you that you need whatever it is, the universe is also going to give you whatever you need to make that happen. Okay. So when somebody comes up and says, oh my gosh, this is so, and many of us that coming to this conference, it was like, really? This makes no economic sense whatsoever. I mean, oh my gosh, this is impossible to get here from there. It's just, the travel and the gas and the COVID and the food and the blah, 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 blah. But when the angels say, and the universe says you're going to be there, then the universe makes a way for that to happen. So if there's something out there that the universe says that you need, the universe will make sure that you take it home with you. And I guarantee you that it has nothing to do with money. Certainly, money may be exchanged, but if the universe needs for you to take that home, the person who has it will make sure that you take it home. And I've seen that thousands of times in these things. Yeah. If you need it, the universe is going to tell you, and they're going to tell you who has it to make sure that that transaction happens. Yes, ma'am.
So, with the channels, are they always here, or do you spend protection before you open up these channels? How does that work? Or what's your experience?
My experience is that my information channels get plugged as soon as I forget who I am and start acting like everybody else. So as soon as I turn on Fox TV, it's like, or you open up the email and it's clear full of that, 4 pages of fear porn, or you're watching the news or whatever. As soon as I let that anger or fear step in, then those channels shut up just like, yeah. And the thing is, as soon as that channel is open again, all of that anger and fear goes away. It's a sense of non-attachment that I never really understood. When the Buddhists are talking about the non-attachment, I never understood that because it seemed like it was, they were whatever. But it's like, it's really, when those channels are open and you're connected, you're watching the drama go around you and you realize that, hey, it's all happening because it's supposed to happen, and it's happening exactly how it is supposed to happen. And I can do my part to make things a little bit better, make things a little bit easier. Yes, ma'am.
Can you walk me through the recipe or steps how to close the workaholic channel and open a channel for relationship?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Your left brain is going to go. The question is, can I go through the steps on how to open one channel or close another? Okay. Your left brain is going to hate this. Okay. Open the channel for relationships and simply ask that it be opened. That's exactly all that it needs to do. Well, you can absolutely, get the reagents to keep those channels open, but ask and you shall receive every time. It doesn't make any difference if you can dowse or not. You have that connection. Dowsing, for me, helps to confirm. So it's kind of, it really helps me with the insecurities and the whatever, but you don't need that dowsing. All you have to do is ask for it. It's a different form of prayer.
So I don't have to check whether it's open or not open, or something's wrong with it. I just have to say,
You can absolutely do all that if you want to. It's absolutely not necessary. If you want it open, open it up. At some point, then you can start doing the work to find out why it was closed. But most of the time, if that channel is closed, it is because, the hot dogs and the cigars. It is the, not sleeping enough, not hydrating enough. It is letting that fear and that anger get in, all of those other things. So I would love to turn this into some kind of a guru seminar where I could charge thousands of dollars to do this stuff, and tell you that it has to be a certain protocol to do things. It ain't necessary. If it takes that to convince you that it will work, I will absolutely be happy to charge you several $1,000s to do this. Yeah. I do take checks, credit cards, cash. Okay. But you are so powerful yourself. You don't need anybody else to do this. Most of the time, the only time you need somebody else to help you is just to show you how easy it's done. Yeah. It's like riding a unicycle. If you saw that unicycle sitting there, leaned up against the wall, you know it cannot be ridden. It's impossible. I mean, look at that thing. It's got one wheel on it. You can fall a dozen different ways. And then suddenly somebody can ride it. Now you know it's possible. Yes, ma'am.
I'm confused with the definition of the channels. That initially you had said 5, so it's a specific channel for that. Now, the listing that you were given, is it specific or is it specific for oneself?
The question is are the channels specific? Or are they specific for oneself? The way I understand it, and is that a certain class of information comes through on different channels, and that is universal. So but that's the point that we're still working on, is to find out what information is coming in through those channels. Now, those 33 channels are what produce our entire reality. So those 33 channels are also for your pets, also for your animals, also for the plants. All that information is coming in, and the thing is, you are tuned to a specific portion of that information that's coming in. But it's all there.
What's the correlation? What's 1? What's 2? Like you had said, well, what
We're still working on the question is, all right, what's channel 1? What's channel 2? What's channel 3? I'm still working on that. But because what I found is that is great bubblegum for the left brain. Because, oh my gosh, that COVID comes in on channel 8, and oh my gosh, and this, and look and that's what I started off finding. But what I found was that although that's great information for the left brain, it's completely worthless information. It's not necessary. Because, I mean, and I'm going to work on that anyway, because that's just the curiosity thing, because I want to know what's going on, but it's not necessary. The point is there's 33 information channels, and if they're open and if they're clear and that information is what you're supposed to be happening, you'll be healthy.
So you had asked also relative as what information channel is most impaired.
Yep.
So yes, you all came up with a number. So
Yeah.
now it's up to you to find out what that number is.
Right, absolutely. You can find out what that impairment is, and then open it up. And it could be that channel has something to do with acid indigestion. I don't know. It could be something that is really important and fundamental. Again, it's just energy and information. How cool is that? And this works for your pets. Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Well, I can also make a chart like from 1 to 33, or else I can just add that down. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
What channel that you want to
Absolutely. The question is, do I need to know what channel I'm working with, or can I just work with the channel that takes care of relationships? The left brain likes to have all that detail information. That detail information is completely bubblegum for the brain. Okay. Think about in the Bible, when Jesus went to heal people, and when he made the blind see, you don't have paragraph after paragraph. The retina is now healed and the cataract is gone and the lens is, there was none of that detail stuff, because that detail stuff was not useful. When Rupert Groening was doing his healing work, he would heal, 3,000 people in a crowd. There was no detail work there whatsoever. What he did was he brought in what he called the divine healing field. And he would bring the divine healing field in to do that work. The details, that's the problem. Our left brain wants to know all the stuff because we think it's important. It's not. It's not. Okay.
I am very right brain. However, I thought it was very interesting the example you made about the labyrinth to demonstrate DNA, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And what it really was doing was talking about housekeeping in the DNA. So you found that out, but just making the labyrinth with an intention, let it just be and let it do what
It's supposed to do, what you need, you know. So no stress, no strain on the chain. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't get everything that you needed from me this morning, I am sorry. Please forgive me, but thank you. I love you.